can't tell, but this is about a week's worth of facial hair. So, in keeping with the tradition, I just flew water everywhere, the tradition that actually started last week of sort of giving out advice on Saturday's video, I thought this would be a good thing to do. Now, I'm a bit of a tech geek. I don't know if you know this about me. One of the things I've noticed that I have the trouble with everywhere is crap internet. Right? You go to a hotel or this hostel or other places and they have some sort of system in place that slows your internet down. Well, I'm going to talk to you guys today about how you can trick it into giving you high-speed internet. Now, I promise that this is a travel tip, but in order to understand this travel tip, we're going to have to figure out a little bit how computers work. I'm not going to get too technical, but I am going to explain it to you so that you understand what you're doing, so that when you do it, you're not just completely in the dark. So the first thing we need to know is that computers just operate very similar to the internet, right? So you have a motherboard and it has little chips all over the motherboard, and each of those has an address, just like you would write an address that goes to a website, which is hosted on a computer. So similar to browsing the internet where you have to type in an address, or sending an email where you have to type in an address, places on your computer have an address. So we need to find out what the address of our Wi-Fi card is. So in order to do that, we'll go up to the Apple symbol, About This Mac, and then we're going to go to System Report, and we're going to scroll down here to Wi-Fi under Network. Alright, you see here it says Interfaces, EN0, and the card type is Airport Extreme. That is the Wi-Fi card that is in your computer, and the address for that is what's known as the MAC address. That's how things from the internet know where to send information. Sort of. It's more on the local network. All this to say, we need to find out what your MAC address is and what your interface's name is. So now that we know your interface is EN0 and that your address is this random string of numbers, we're going to open a program called Terminal. Now, there are other ways to do this, but I don't like downloading other pieces of software onto my computer, so I just do this manually each time. We're going to open up a program called Terminal. I use Command Space, and that gives me this little cool searchy thing, and then I type Terminal and I open it. You can browse for it. It's in your Applications folder, right? And then all you're going to do is you're going to type this string of code that pops up. And the string of code is sudo. First, sudo is telling the computer, look, I'm in charge, do what I say. And then you're going to use the command ifconfig. This tells the computer that you're running a piece of code that says, I want to configure this. And then you tell it what this is, EN0, your Wi-Fi card. And you want to give, I forget what the ether part means. Ignore that. Then you also type the word ether. Then you change the address from what it was, AC, BC, blah, blah, whatever it is, to some random one. Now, it has to start with a 00. It has to follow the same format. So 00, E and a number, E and a number, E and a number. So you connect to whatever the local Wi-Fi is that you're trying to use, the hotel, the hostel, whatever it is. This is often the screen that you get presented with when you're joining a public access Wi-Fi network that's free, and it just requires you to enter in an email, your name, your firstborn, your social security number, all that sort of stuff. Something weird, literally I'll write anything, at mailinator.com. By using Mailinator, I can go to the website mailinator.com, type in my random thing that I just made up, and check that email, because sometimes they'll send you a register check email where you have to click the link and verify that it's your email address. I don't like to give up my email address to just all the Wi-Fi networks because I connect to hundreds of them. And then I create a random password, I use a fake name, and I agree to the terms and conditions. Cool. So now that we've registered for the network, whatever it may be, you get the screen. Great. And let's just test our speed real quick. Speedtest.net is what I usually use. Alright, so it seems to be holding steady at about almost 2 megabytes per second download. That's not too shabby. But usually upload is the one that I'm worried about, and they usually cap that pretty low. So the upload here is basically non-existent. 0 is about as low as you can get with this thing. Oh, 0.7, 0.1. Okay, so not very fast. Now, let's go back to terminal, and I'm gonna type my code. I have a quick key to enter it. Sudo iconfig en0 ether and then this MAC address. Now, I'm just gonna change it, watch. Instead of E6, I'm gonna make it E7. And I hit enter, and now we can go back, and I'm just gonna test it again after making that one change. And already you can see that my download speed has what is that, quadrupled? It's insane, it's fast. And now, for me, the upload speed is something I care about because we upload videos all the time. You maybe not so much, but you can see in this next bit that the upload speed is astronomically higher. That's technically incorrect, but it's high. Right, so in conclusion, basically what you're doing is something called MAC spoofing. MAC is the address, as I showed you here before, your MAC address, and basically what you're doing is you're faking a new MAC address. Again, the steps are really simply: 1, log into the wireless network. Register, do all that sort of stuff. You can use that fake email address style that I showed you. 2, change your MAC address. 3, browse with Chrome and Profit. Now, sometimes when you load a new page, it will try and force you to re-register. This will happen. You can either re-register and do the whole process again, but that gets annoying. So usually how I use this is if I'm starting to download something like a YouTube video or a large file, or if I'm uploading something like our YouTube videos, I'll start the download or start the upload, then change my MAC address, because that somehow it doesn't initiate a new request from the server and it doesn't realize that you're faking your MAC address. So I usually connect first, start the upload or download, and then change my MAC address. And it will usually upload really fast and work the whole time. And after about 15, sometimes 20 minutes, or sometimes if I load a new page, it will realize that I'm faking it and ask me to re-register. You can just do the cycle all over again. Right, so you can see that there is so many cool things that you can do with computers, and while you're traveling, this is a great hack that you guys can do to just take away a little bit of that annoyingness that you get when using Wi-Fi's all over the world. I don't know why I decided to come up to the roof. I just wanted a different setting, and these seagulls are freaking out because they have a bird's nest up here and they think I'm trying to steal their young. So anyhow, I hope that encouraged you guys to get out there and travel today. I hope that showed you a quick way that you can improve your Wi-Fi speed while you're traveling. You can use this pretty much anywhere. If you have any questions, let me know. I may not know the answer, but I'll try to help. So it's called MAC spoofing. If you need to look up any more information about programs to use on your operating system, or the exact commands, or just different ways to do it, there are lots of ways to do it. That's just the way I do it on my computer. We'll see you guys in the next video. Hello guys, and welcome to the video. As we've mentioned before, Ashley and I are traveling Europe for a year on a budget, and the way we're doing that for the most part is by, I hit that light, is by doing work stays wherever we go. We'll stay somewhere and we'll trade work for food and housing. We've used World Packers, which is what we're doing now. We've used Workaway and Helpex, and so tonight we're in Liverpool.